Good day to everybody, and welcome to Talks on Tuesday, where we meet every Tuesday at 11 o'clock Pacific time to discuss a variety of paranormal, metaphysical, unusual, spiritual topics every Tuesday. And it is fun. If you're joining us later on Facebook, you can like us and subscribe, leave a comment. That's great. And if you ever want to join us on Zoom, you can email us at talksontuesdays333@gmail.com. So here we are. And the topic for the day, does anybody remember what I said it was? Being in the now, or
Yeah, living in the now.
living in the now.
Staying living in the now.
Yeah. And I'm living in the now, and it's not very comfortable because, as you can see, I am moving out of my apartment and I am seated on my dog's dog bed on the floor, because it is the only furniture left, so to speak. And so I'm necessarily living in the now because there's nothing even to look at except a few nails in the wall. So I'm necessarily in the now. We hear a lot of this among our spiritual advisors and gurus and each other, that live in the now, you got to be in the moment. And so many people say, yeah, the past is over. The future may never arrive. A lot of it's driven by fears and hopes instead of what is, which is right now. So I just thought I would throw that out to you, see what you have to say about it. Is it comforting to be in the now? Is it scary? Is it just neutral? What is this now?
Hi, everybody. I love the topic, and for me, living in the now is it takes a little work. I think it takes a little bit of effort, and it's not a lot, but you have to remember it. And I remember, in the past, Ram Dass's book, Be Here Now. And I loved that. And then Eckhart Tolle, had the power of now, and built this whole kind of cottage industry around that. And there's so much perspective, but I think that it takes a certain amount of mindfulness. But I think that it's helpful, especially in crazy times, because then you're able to step away from the crazy and focus on like what's right in front of you, or what makes you feel good, or remembering to pet the cat and just be into that. So, but it's sometimes it takes a little effort. So
yeah, Jules.
I just want to say that my first thought, well, because you mentioned Eckhart Tolle, and I had just watched, or I had listened to a video of his where he was talking about presence. And that's pretty much what you were talking about, Barbara. It's just to be present in the presence, and how that kind of goes along with your talking mind, and how to find the silence, not so much get rid of the words, but observe them, or notice them, and then it's kind of like that cloud thing, and let them pass on by, and find the quiet, or the silence between thoughts, sort of.
Yeah. I think it takes effort because it is so much in our nature to analyze what has just happened, weigh it, see, what might I have done different, and to pay attention to future plans. Like, I'm in the middle of a move, and I had to remember when I walked into the apartment today to turn on the oven cleaning button. Remember, write myself a note to take the drying out of the dryer. That kind of thing, which is just day to day. But I think where we rest, where we find ourselves, is in the now. Even when we're in pain, Gillian Fleer has often said that even in pain, if we go to the now, it's just sensation, more sensation. And I think that's true. Yeah, Anka.
Living in the now for me is it's in pain, it's bad. Not for a physical thing, for a spiritual or for the soul. I don't like my present. I remember when I was a child that my granny said to me that she wants to be me married at some point, and I'm not married, and I'm a little mm, upset about this, about my future. I don't know, and because of this anxiety, I hard like the present.
Yeah. And yet that idea of marriage is the future. It's not now, right? In this moment, there is no future, there is no past. It's just now. And part of the now is knowing how much we are loved, regardless of anything else. Is your granny still alive?
No, just one, but that was about I speak. No, it's in 2011. She died.
Yeah. But she still loves you.
Yes, I believe, but
It
it was a dream of her for my good, for my good.
Of course. Yeah. But we don't always know how other people's lives are going to unfold and what path we need to take. So just be still with it. We all love you, regardless.
Thank you.
And we're happy that you're here with us today, Anka. So just sit and enjoy that, the fact that you're with a group
Hey.
that really cares about you.
I'm happy to be with all of you too. I see you like wise people.
Well, we see you in the same way, honey. We do.
Thank you.
Chelsea, were you going to say something?
Yeah. Even before you brought that up, Anka, when Julie was talking about, she brought up the word presence. And the first thing that came to my mind was the word acceptance. I don't know, I sometimes always associate the present with acceptance. And then I kind of thought, okay, what is not acceptance? And I thought, oh, resistance. And then I feel that kind of fits.
Yes.
It's like we have an activity in the present moment. And I think enjoying and living in the now is more on I think it's a teeter-totter, but I think it's more on a goal to be more on the acceptance side. But it's probably we're always probably somewhere in between, especially with having opinions and
Yeah. Yeah. In the now, we don't have to accept or reject or judge. We can just be still.
I just want to say that for me, I like the option of having to accept that I can't stay in the present.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, something's burning on the stove, and if we're just sitting there and be with it, it may not be a good outcome.
Yeah, I think there's value in living, well, there's value in the past, present, and future. as far as the future, making plans, which of course could all not work, but the excitement, we can get into the excitement of it and all of that. You might use the law of attraction with all of that and bring it to your present. The past, I think it's great for warm memories, nostalgia, love, all that kind of stuff. And recently I had two experiences with beings from my past that I actually sat and chatted with and healed a great deal from our past. One was a cousin of mine that died very young. It didn't end well for him and between us. And then a dog that I had that died in 2000, who I feel I really neglected and made her life sad in a way. But anyway, I had two very powerful visits. And of course, that brought it to the present. But if I didn't occasionally go to the past and get, oh, that bothers me, that bothers me, that bothers me, didn't live in it, but every now and then those things would come to me. And I had the opportunity to bring them here and to heal. And they were so powerful. It was just beautiful. And now, I'm opening to the universe to, okay, give me more. Come on, I'll do it. I'll do it. Because you carry that garbage all the time. It's underneath everything. So there is a lot of value in the past too. I think when we let our minds and egos and all of that get into things too much, that's what ruins any of these three categories. So, but certainly, yeah, the now has been hailed as the most wonderful thing, right? If you can just be that way all the time, that'd be pretty darn good, pretty peaceful. I don't think it can happen for everyone, or of course for me, because I'm a supreme being. But oh, wait a minute, that's my ego. I'm sorry, never mind. I didn't say that. Still working on it. Anyway,
You're one of
yeah.
the supremes.
One of the Supremes. I was the fourth Supreme, right? I never got any credit.
I know it's the hair, Gino.
I, well, I was forced to join the Temptations. That's what happened. So,
There you go.
all right, that's all I got. Thanks.
Yeah, Barb.
Gino, I love what you shared. It was beautiful. And I think you're right, going back and, sometimes not dwelling in it, like you say, but sometimes using it to just reflect. And then that made me think of what Chelsea and Julie were talking about as far as the acceptance, just accepting that maybe I didn't do it right then, but we can fix it now. And I like that. And that is all I think part of being in the now is that acceptance and forgiveness, that self-forgiveness.
Mhm.
Yeah, Renee.
People idolize marriage like it's some perfect thing. It's a bunch of work.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like if I had to explain to Anka what marriage is, it would be like maybe a 40-year college class that you had to kind of study or something. I don't know. But right now, you get to be married to yourself. That's a little easier.
Mhm.
Some days.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go, Renee.
Okay, I was just going to say that sometimes we need a subtle or not so subtle reminder and something that could be jolting to bring us back to the now. And I had that experience quite recently. I had a slip and fall on an icy sidewalk and I landed on my back and my head struck the pavement. But what was interesting was I got up, two people helped me get up and stand up again. And I went across the street and I went to do my fitness routine of all crazy things because I didn't feel as though there was any broken parts. And I thought, well, what would I be doing if this didn't happen? So I just went along my normal way. And what kept happening throughout about 2 or so weeks, there was definitely some discomfort and soreness and all of that. But I could feel gradually, I could feel the lessening, I could feel the release, I could feel the ease and the flow returning. Every single day it got a little bit better. I could bend over with more ease and more grace. And I just kept letting it go. Like, okay, there it goes. It happened. You can't unhappen it. You can't turn it back. You can't stop it. It happened. It can happen. It did. But rather than sort of, ruminate in it and, marinate in it and drag it on and on and on, I just thought every single day, oh my God, I can bend a little further now. Oh, I'm not even aware of the fact that I couldn't bend. So it was such a gift. At the beginning, it wasn't a gift, but it became a gift because I could see I didn't have to attach to anything. I could just flow with whatever was happening. That's what I was given for whatever reason. Maybe I needed a slight wake up at that moment, but I'm awake now. Thank you.
Good.
I'm so glad you can hear me today too. That's pretty miraculous.
Oh, well, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to have your voice back for with us. It's nice to have you back being able to communicate. And thanks for sharing that, Renee. And what I was thinking of when I heard it was, in addition to how you looked at that, which makes so much sense, you also had a couple people who came to your aid when you were, laying there on the sidewalk, and some strangers walked up to help you and to, extend that connection. So that's another thing to just, think about and be aware of and be grateful for. And I'm not saying that you're not in other ways, but it's just one more thing to, think about as far as being a good thing. So
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, Louis-Therese?
Talking about the now, I'm sitting here with a frozen chicken in my hands, passing it from the one hand to the other one, because we on our walk this evening. My dog was chasing, a ball, and I wasn't holding tight to the rope, and he had a very long leash of about 20 meters. And the next moment, that rope was ripping through my hands. And now I've got a frozen chicken. That is my present, passing it from one hand to the other. And my dog loves me very much. He put his head right here and he's looking at, when are you passing the chicken to me?
He's gorgeous.
But I would love to say, of all and everything,
Yeah.
I would say your present is the history of yesterday and all the other days. Because what you like today, we build for what is going to happen to us for tomorrow, because it's like bricks that you lay. And you have a choice. And it is the most important part for me, is to be present, even if it is painful or it is joyful. You must be present, and you must see all what is beautiful or unique, and everything. And I can see Mary looks a little bit very brave, but I could see one or two times her eyes is kind of saddened, because I think it is because she realizes she's moving out. And that is her idea. You must live with emotions in your heart. And that is where creativity comes from. And that is where life is beautiful.
Absolutely. Being in the now with a frozen chicken, I am so envious. Yeah, Chels.
Yeah, and I like how you brought up the word creativity, Louis-Therese. Like that's it's our activity of the now. It can go one way, it can go another. We can just take it whatever direction we want, and we can think outside the box, or we could go take a nap, either one.
And that was good. You get great creativity while you take a short nap.
Yeah. Well, I just had a moment here when the maintenance guy walked in, and my garbage disposal, of course, quits on the last day when I have, I need to clean the sink. So that meant getting up off this dog bed. And I've had a bad back, so it's like, and anyway, that moment of now was not so comfortable, but there you go. I've been reading lately about this phenomenon that they've seen in a lot of social movements like Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Mandela, that you only need 3.5% of any population working for the same goal, and it will have an effect then. We saw that in the prisons in this country when they started transcendental meditation, and they saw a very high rate of decrease in the violence in those prisons. And I'm thinking if a lot of us could just be in the now, that's would be a certain percentage of the population who were not in judgment or hatred or revenge, and have that effect to counterbalance what might else be out there. And that's, I think all of us have that job once we get on this path to raise the consciousness of the planet. That's our job in whatever way we can. And we see that Renee's fall, whatever else it might have been, prompted those people to come and help her. And that raised the consciousness. So it's just this incremental ascension of goodness where we are in the now.
I agree with you, because if you are in the now, you are at peace, you are at harmony, you are vibrating at a beautiful way, and it influences each and everybody around you. Because I think what none of us really understand is how important what is our present attitude, as you say, the now, towards all the other people. And it is also very important, but I feel that you must check your mind, because the mind is a very wondrous thing. And even if you are happy in things, there is moments of flinting emotions that you are experiencing. And I specifically think about you today, because you're on a very great threshold. You are full of expectations, and yet you are full of anticipation and not pretensions, don't know what exactly is going to happen. Will it all work out? And it's a lot on your shoulders. So I want to say my heart goes out to you with the greatest of blessing and joy for your journey.
Thank you. There's a certain amount of terror too. In terms of, like, on my list is rent a car in France and drive around, and I'll do it, but whether I end up in some farmyard with a chicken on my head, I don't know. It would be for
It's not a frozen chicken.
not a frozen chicken. You're right.
Well, Mary, I have to tell you that when I was living on a cruise ship for 30 days and the food options were somewhat limited for someone with a vegan lifestyle, I remember looking for the red tomato, walking through a forest somewhere, asking everyone that I passed, am I on the right road to the red tomato? Because I needed to get there by a certain time so I could buy a certain amount of food to bring back on the ship so I could eat properly. And I just know that that whole experience, I gave it all up. I packed it all up. I put it all in storage. And I had no idea if I would like living on a cruise ship. I slept in a a bunk bed. I'd hit my head on the ceiling because I forgot it was there. I'd fall off the ladder as I went to step down. I didn't necessarily like my cabin mate, who was a little bit rowdier than I was, but in retrospect, when I look back at that experience, I just think, you know what? No guts, no glory. So it's an adventure. That's what it's meant to be. You can't plan an adventure. Things are going to show up that are going to, excite you and terrify you and, take it
And
all, take it all with a grain of salt. Life is totally unpredictable, and we can't know from one second to the next what's next.
I know, and that is that moment encompasses all emotions all at once. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Well, it looks like we are getting close to the end. Does anybody have a sentence they want to share?
I just wanted to jump in really quickly just to say I really enjoyed being in the now to listen to each of you and to hear and just to be present and listen to all of your hearts and what you have to offer. And it's just beautiful. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, Barb?
I was just gonna remind everybody that it's a choice, that we all have choices. And even, we can be sitting here in the now worrying, and ruminating over all the bad stuff. So it's really a matter of where are we going to put our focus? And do we want to make our heart sing, or do we want to make our heart cry? And yeah, I enjoyed it, listened to everybody too. So thanks everybody. And-
That's
Yeah, and just to expand on what Barbara just said, and then the choice that we do choose, the universe matches us back in the energy.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I always tell myself, if I get angry, lose my temper, flip somebody off in traffic, other side of town, a child's balloon pops, or someone drops a casserole, and just have to be careful and be aware. Well, thank you all. I will be, I think, out of touch next week. But if I can get on, I will. And we'll see you all then, I hope. You all take care.
All right.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage, yeah.
Happy travels.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.